I particularly like it when my prey is frightened.
What up, what up, what up? Serial Assassin here, and I'm back with another gameplay and commentary, and today is a UPIC. You Play, I Com. And I have the unique pleasure of presenting a special YouTube commentator out there, my boy Midnight. He sent me this video a couple months ago. Yeah, I had another video for today, but the quality wasn't the greatest. It was a really good gameplay. Hopefully, I'll be able to get another one from this other YouTube channel and be able to get it up next Friday. But due to scheduling and conflicts and whatnot, I wasn't able to get the video for today. So my boy Midnight gets the spotlight. Not that he needs it. Not that you all don't already love him and worship him and watch every video he makes. But in case you don't know who he is, be sure to check him out. So, my topic for today is bullying. And this has nothing to do with like anything that's happened in the media lately or anything like that. I actually had an incident last week. I got a phone call from my son's teacher, basically saying that my son was involved with bullying. And I was like, really? Like, that doesn't sound like my son. I mean, I know he has a little bit of a mouth on him, and he can, tend to fall in with his crowd of friends and maybe tease somebody or say something, but mostly, he's a good kid. Like, even if sometimes I fall into that childish act and say something about someone, he usually looks at me and goes, "Dad, really?" And he gets really upset because, my son's a good kid. He doesn't really fall into that whole bullying thing, so I was kind of surprised. So I talked to this teacher for a little bit, just trying to get an understanding of what happened, how the bullying occurred, et cetera, et cetera. And so basically what happened is his school was having some kind of pep rally. And the pep rally was taking place in the high school, which is across the street from the ninth grade center. So instead of them walking over, they just, broke out the TV and they did it on, they did it over the TV. And, they dimmed the lights and they had all the kids paying attention, blah, blah, blah. So apparently my son and a couple of his friends were, let's say, making jokes about who was actually on the TV. And the comment that my son made was something along the lines of, "That girl has a weird eye." So the teacher overheard this and all the other comments that were being made and, said that she was giving my son a detention for this. He's being rude in class, disruptive, and she said that, that's considered bullying. Now, to me, that's not bullying. It's just not. I totally agree that bullying in schools is definitely a hot topic. It's a major issue. I have no doubts about that whatsoever. I've seen the stories that have gone up on YouTube and the news and everything else about, these kids taking their own lives because they're getting bullied every day. That's one thing. But in this situation, he didn't even say it to the kid's face. So, I mean, and even if he did, even if he walked up to this girl and was like, "Hey, you got a really weird eye," and then walked away, to me, that's not bullying. It's making a rude comment, but it's not bullying. But for this girl not even to be in the room with him, not even know the comment was stated, for her to label my son as a bully, I had to set her straight. And I broke her down. I said, "Look, no, that's not bullying. And please don't put that anywhere in any note, record, or whatever of my son, because it's not. It's not bullying. If you make a comment, whether it's nice or not, about someone else in a singular occurrence, that's not bullying. That's stating an opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You should have better taste in where you say it, how loud you say it, who you share it with, but at the same time, it's not bullying. It's not like my son was going up to this girl every day and going, "Look at your eye." Like, he wasn't doing that. And that to me is bullying. And bullying is both physical and emotional. And it seems to me that a lot of the media hype nowadays is over the emotional type of bullying because the physical really isn't there anymore. I mean, you may have some pushing or shoving or maybe a nice little cat fight or some dudes banging it out now and then. But the bottom line is usually the physical stuff are singular occasions. They're once and that's it. And you know what? If there's someone out there being bullied physically, I'm sorry. I guess I'm making an assumption. I've been out of school for 20 years, so forgive me. But, I talk to my children, and they don't hear about it all the time. Kids will play around and push each other, but there's really no, like, back when I was in high school, like, the kids that got picked on, like, they'd be walking down the hallway, and someone would come behind them and crack the shit out of them in the back of their head, and all their books would fall, or they would, when I say bump or throw, like, they launched them up against the lockers and knocked the kids down. And back then, it was acceptable. It was just, it was part of high school life. Kids would get smacked, pushed, punched, whatever, like nothing like to the point where they drew blood, but just knocked the shit out of. And these kids that were getting bullied, they sucked it up and they had to deal with it. It was just part of surviving high school. Nowadays, they don't put up with that. They don't tolerate it. And that's actually a good thing. But back to this scenario, like, I had to break this teacher down. Like, that's not bullying. That's just not. So, don't put it in the records. Don't say nothing. That shouldn't be anywhere. I should never go back and hear, oh, well, your son bullied some kid back. No, that should never happen. I said, look, I understand. He was disrespectful. He was interrupting your classroom. He shouldn't have said it. I said, I get that. So, if you want to give him detention for being disorderly, that's fine. I said, but please, 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 don't label it as a bully. Because nowadays, if you are, disciplined once for quote-unquote bullying, it's like the scarlet letter. It's like someone smacking a label on your back every day that you're a bully. And every occurrence after that, no matter how innocent or slight, is going to be just rained upon because you quote-unquote now have a history. So I wanted to make sure I set this teacher straight. And after, I rambled on, and I wasn't disrespectful in any way, shape, or form. I just was, telling her how I felt, my point of view, and et cetera, et cetera. So at the end of this whole spiel, I was like, I hope you understand and respect my position. And she's like, yeah. Okay, well, I just want to call and notify you. So, thank you very much. And I was like, okay, well, I appreciate your time, et cetera, et cetera. I'll make sure I speak to my son when he gets home tonight, and we'll take care of it. And that was pretty much the end of it. Well, my son went back to school the next day, and, because he basically said, sometime over the next couple days, you need to stay half an hour for detention, blah, blah, blah. So he went back the next day to let the teacher know that he was going to stay for, let's say, on Thursday. And the teacher said, no, that's okay. I took it off. After talking to your father, it made sense. I took the detention away. So my son didn't really think about it, and then we were talking about it this past weekend, and he was like, Dad, really, did you set her straight? And I explained the situation, what I said. He's like, thanks, Dad. I appreciate that. Because, to me, bullying is, like I said, it's something that should be monitored, it should be disciplined, and it should be, something that everyone is aware of. But if you're walking down the hallway and someone says, yo, fat ass, and you're a little on the heavy side, that's not bullying. That's just someone being rude. Now, if they come down the hall every single day, day after day, hour after hour, and they call you a fat ass over and over and over again, then I totally agree. That's bullying. Something needs to be done, because you know what? There's a fine line between, harassment and just being embarrassed. And, we all got to be conscious of this. And I understand that, a lot of you guys out there listening right now may not be in high school anymore. A lot of you guys out there may be in high school or plan to go in high school. But just be conscious of this. Sometimes an easy target doesn't make you look that cool. If you're looking at some girl that's, 50, 60 pounds overweight, got glasses, her mother gave her a butchered haircut, you picking on her, it's just going to make you look retarded. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's just too easy. So that's pretty much it. I love you guys. Talk to y'all later. I'm out. Peace.